Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, a typical security guard, and I want to welcome you all to another one of my unedited videos. These are straight uploaded videos, straight no chaser, no intro, nothing like that. Guys, listen, if you're following the news, and you should always be following the news, we are in the midst of season. That's right, I call this season here in Portland. And when you ask, what season are you talking about? Well, it is protest season, right? Here in Portland, as soon as the weather gets really warm, the sun is out a little bit longer, it is protest season. And people will protest anything from the day ending in the letter Y to more tangible and understandable reasons, like the brutality or the senseless murder of people. So depending on where you fall on that politically in that discussion is irrelevant, but a part of what makes Portland Portland is the protest. It is as much a part of the lifeblood here as the Trailblazers, as the Willamette, as anything else that is a part of Portland here. It is just a part of the reality of being here. So that being said, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, if you're ever in a situation where you're working in a place where you're doing executive protection, or you're working any aspect of the protest, or if you might potentially just find yourself in a protest, one of the things that I want to do video-wise going down the road is I want to talk about what happens when you find yourself in the midst of a protest. Here in Portland, protests develop and they spring up seemingly out of nowhere. Now, Antifa as a group, they telegraph these protests in order to get people to join them. They come out in what's known as block, which is all black clothing, completely covering their face, things like that. But my point in bringing all that up here is that for the average person, it seems like these things spring up out of nowhere. You can find yourself driving home, driving to the store, just casually out and about, and then find yourself in the middle of a 300 or more person protest. So that being said, I want to go over the number one piece of equipment that I found that I needed during my time working at the protest last fall. And that is this little baby right here. Are you ready? The gas mask. That's right. How many of you have purchased your very own gas mask? Guys, listen, for us here in Portland, specifically those working security in any capacity, you have to have your own gas mask / respirator, okay? Right now, you can find these on Amazon anywhere between, say, $45 and $250, depending on the type and the bells and whistles that come with them. But you have to have these. I made the mistake last year of only buying a face respirator, not thinking about the fact that when tear gas is deployed, it gets right in your eyes. And during the height of the George Floyd protest last summer and last fall, it was almost impossible to find these gas masks. I was lucky enough to have someone that worked in construction and was able to get me one through one of his work sites. But right now, I've looked on Amazon. You can get these. You can get them delivered. They seem to be somewhat in stock. And I really, really, really recommend that you guys pick up your own gas mask. Now, that creates an entirely different set of circumstances. One of the things that you need to be aware of if you're utilizing a gas mask and you're working in security is it changes the depth perception, right? Because of the way that these are made, the plastic or the acrylic that's on the actual shield can amplify things. It can create glares. You can have blind spots. So if you're responsible for handling a firearm, you need to be taking your gas mask or your respirator and actually practicing shooting your firearm with that, because it's completely night and day. Also, the condensation that can build up, sweating, all of these things. You have to train with that, because if you're in a situation where you have on your gas mask or your respirator, and then you have to fire your weapon with that. It's completely different. So I highly recommend two things: purchasing one, number one, practicing with it, number two. If you're going to be in low light or you're going to be in the dark, you have to also practice with that. Last but not least, make sure that you get, hang on, let me see if I have some here. Oh, I do. Hang on. Don't forget when you order these to order a second set of the filters, okay? If you're like me and you're working a lot of protest shifts, and the police deploy crowd control munitions, which is going to be tear gas, you don't want to go through multiple exposures to that without changing those filters. And last year, once the mask became available, the filters were actually not available. So make sure you do that, okay? All right. Just a little quick shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. As always, like, share, subscribe. You know that you can reach me at safeportsecure@gmail.com. And I would love to communicate with you. So if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, I truly, truly would appreciate it. As always, watch your six and be great.